Students, welcome back once again to English grammar lecture. Today we are going to continue with active voice and passive voice. So before we start this session, let us revise what we learnt in the earlier lectures. So let's start. So tell me, what is active voice? You remember? We learnt in the first lecture. Active voice. Yes. When the subject of a verb acts, the verb is said to be in the active voice. A sentence has a subject that acts upon its verbs, upon its verb. So it is known as active voice. Now, what is passive voice? When the object of the active voice becomes the subject, the verb is said to be in passive voice. Okay, means that a subject is a recipient, is a receiver of verb's action. Alright, then do you remember we learnt a few steps on how to change the voice from active to passive. So let's revise that as well. The first step, find out the significant verb in the predicate. And what was the second step? Change the meaningful verb or the significant verb into past participle form. The next step, what is the next step? The next step is to place the appropriate auxiliary verb before the past participle. Okay. And then you have to check what changes you have made. You have to check those changes. And the last step is interchange the place of the subject and the object and add by before the subject when it is shifted to the place of the object. So these are the 5 steps that we learnt in the earlier lectures. These were part of model 1. You remember I told you in the beginning of the lecture that there are in all 10 models. Okay, so after model number 1, model number 2, even that we covered in the previous lectures. So what did we learn in model number 2? If there are 2 objects, only one object can be shifted to the place of the subject at a time. Okay, at a time only one object can only be shifted to the place of the subject. Therefore, the other object, what will happen to the other object? The other object will be retained object. Alright. The next we learned model number 3, in which you learned that do, does or did are used along with meaningful verbs in negative and interrogative sentences. Okay, so this is what we learned in the previous lectures. Now in this part 4 video, we are going to learn the next model, that is model number 4. So I hope you are prepared to start with this session. Change the following sentences into passive voice. Let's see. First one, he did not hear anything. They do not pray for any mercy. He does not play any part in the drama. So now, according to our technique, the changes that we do in this sentence, after those changes, how will the sentence read? Anything was not heard by him. Any mercy is not prayed for by them. Any part is not played by him in the drama. Do you think these sentences are right? Yes, these sentences are incorrect. They are not right. They are not the correct ones. These transformations are wrong because any, any should not be used along with not. Alright, any should not be used along with not. So any, whether it is alone or it is coupled with any other word, it should not be used along with not. So this can be overcome by using no. So instead of not, what we should use? No. Let us see how to use it. How will our sentence sound? Okay. In these examples, like the first one, anything was not. So this part, anything was not, becomes nothing was. In the second sentence, any mercy is not. So that will become no mercy is. And the third one, any part is not, will become no part is. Okay, so now let's see the correct transformed sentences. And how have we obtained this correct sentences? Where here we are not using, here we are using no. We are not using not. Alright, so let's read the correct sentence. Nothing was heard by him. What was the first question? He did not hear anything. So what will be the correct answer? Nothing was heard by him. Nothing was heard by him. Let's read the second question. They do not pray for any mercy. The answer is no mercy is prayed for by them. Okay. Now the third one. He does not play any part in the drama. So what will be the transformed sentence? No part is played by him in the drama. I hope students this thing is clear. Okay, I hope this point is clear that whenever any is used, whenever any is there in a sentence, it should not be used along with not. We need to overcome this by using no instead of not. Now, let us see one activity based on what we have learnt now. Okay, this activity is there in your grammar book. So I hope you all have your grammar book with you. Okay, so let's get started. Change the following sentences into the passive form. First one, the child did not do anything. So what will be the answer? Nothing was done by the child. Now let's see the second question. My friend does not hear anything. What will be the answer? Nothing is heard by my friend. My father did not see anything. Nothing was seen by my father. He did not render any service to his mother. So what will be the answer? No service was rendered to his mother by him. Last one. He did not take his grandfather to the garden any of the days. None of the days his grandfather was taken to the garden by him. Right? So, these are the answers. Now students, let's move towards the next model. That is model number 5. Let's read these sentences. Change the following sentence into passive voice. Who can do this? Whom did you see? What is he doing? By what means did he do the thing? Now, the next 5 questions. Which flowers give the sweetest smell? Can he do the work? Have they repaid the loan? Will he keep the appointment? Is he helping his parents? All these sentences, they begin with interrogative pronouns, interrogative adverbs, interrogative adjectives, defective verbs, a finite form of the verb to be, a finite form of the verb to have. So what does it mean? So these sentences begin with interrogative pronouns. What is interrogative pronoun? See, it is a pronoun which is used to make asking questions easy. Okay, it is used to make asking questions easy. And there are in all just 5 interrogative pronouns. And what are they? Let me tell you. They are what, which, who, whom and whose. So these are the 5 interrogative pronouns. The next is interrogative adverbs. Now, interrogative adverb is an adverb that asks a question about place, time, manner or reason. Okay. Now, examples of interrogative adverbs are why, where, when and how. So all these questions will help you. All these questions will help you to frame a question on questions for place, time or manner. Okay. Now the next one, interrogative adjectives. Now interrogative adjectives describes a noun that is used in a question. Okay. So they mainly use what, which, whose, which jacket belongs to Reena. So this is an example of interrogative adjective, that is using which. It describes a noun that is used in a question. The next is defective verbs. Do you remember defective verbs? I have taught you this defective verbs. Okay. See, defective verbs, let me revise that. It does not exhibit all the typical forms. Okay, all the characteristics of an ordinary verb. Alright, so defective verbs, they don't have all the qualities of an ordinary verb. So, what are the examples of these defective verbs? Do you recollect something? Yes, can, could, may, might. So all these are examples of defective verbs. Now these are English models. Okay, English models like can, could, may, might. Now moving ahead, the next one. A finite form of the verb to be, a finite form of the verb to have. So all these sentences begin with either interrogative pronouns or interrogative adverb or interrogative adjectives, defective verbs, a finite form of the verb to be or a finite form of the verb to have. Okay. The technique of transformation remains the same as before. You remember the 5-step technique? It remains the same. But here, remember the following facts. Let me tell you what are the facts you have to remember here. Number 1, the interrogative pronoun who has different forms in the nominative and accusative case. Nominative case, you remember nominative form? It is used for a noun or a pronoun which is the subject of a verb. Okay. So here it is said that interrogative pronoun who will be different in nominative case and accusative case. Let me give you an example. in case of nominative form, when we use who, okay, we use who here. So the example will be, who will pay your fees? And accusative form, by whom will your fees be paid? Okay, so this way, in the process of transformation, who becomes by whom and whom becomes who. So, the interrogative pronouns, interrogative adverbs, interrogative adjectives, whether they come alone or in groups, the defective verbs and the finite forms of the verb to be and to have, which introduce the question form, retain their places even when the sentences are changed into the passive form. Alright, so interrogative pronoun, adverb, adjective, all the interrogative ones, okay, also the defective verbs and the finite forms of to be and to have, of the verb to be and to have, okay, all these things which introduce the question, which introduce the question form, they retain their places, they don't change their places at all. Okay, whenever the sentence is changed into passive form, these things retain their places. All right, I hope this part is clear, students. And the transformation of sentences based on this rule, okay, the application of this rule, we will learn in the next lecture. Okay, so I hope this model is clear with you, and I'm sure you're going to prepare this model and be ready to solve the activity that we will do in the coming lecture. All right, kindly click on the home assignment and complete the same on time. Thank you so much.